Right, just a following on update. I've now got the servos installed. They're in the frames. The frames were 5-minute epoxied in, but I could only get 2 screws in. I can't get right to the back for the back screw. So my only criticism probably with doing this type of install is that you can't get to that. If maybe the recess in this wing was probably maybe 10 to 15 mil, just a little bit longer, you can then get to the back screw and do the frame install, which I personally like doing those type of installs in case you have any problems. You're not sort of trying to destroy the servo to get it out. I know obviously if you're getting it out, it's probably broken anyway. But if, say, you just stripped a gear, you can get the gear sets for these. So if, potentially, I know there's different ways of installing servos in wings. Some people like to wrap masking tape around them and then epoxy them in. So if you ever did need to change them out, you can just score the masking tape and take the servo out. But I feel that if you're only relying on the adhesive on the masking tape then to hold it in, obviously Ian talks about in the instructions that to epoxy it down. But like I say, if you're on a flap servo, or you're landing and you land quite hard, or your servos are still out, or you catch something, and you strip a gear, I like personally to have them screwed in so you can take them out, do any maintenance you want on them, and then reinstall them back in again. That's just my own personal way. That's how I like to install servos. I feel that it's better. But if this, say, I mean, I'm open to suggestion, but the only other way I would really like to get that back screw in. And the only other way is to ream this out a bit more, or potentially just making a hole here so I can get a screw down. Ian sends the covers, you've got to cut them out yourself, so I could just make the cover just slightly bigger than this whole recess here and then tape them on, so it's not finishing flush. It's only obviously the thickness of the covering material over. That was what my old Cobra was like. This was made a lot larger, and then the covering material was slightly bigger, so it was just taped down. And to be honest, it has no effect on the way it flies, no effect whatsoever. I think this recess is more, it's finished flush, more of an aesthetic look. You've still got the edge of the tape, that's taped down, so you're only talking another mil up of the material. So I don't know what the best way, whether that'd be fine with 2 screws. I'm open to suggestion, I don't know. But I would really like to get that on, so I might just drill a hole, but I don't know. But I definitely don't want to epoxy them in just for maintenance sakes and stuff like that, or if I have a servo down. It just makes it so much easier to change, especially with the wing harness. You just literally score the heat shrink, take it out, undo the screw, undo the clevis, take it out, plug your new one in, slide it all back in, screw it back down. And especially if you're going for the same brand of servo, it just makes everything so much easier to change and maintain and everything, really. So I've done the same on the aileron. That's exactly the same. I've only got 2 screws on that, they're in the same place. So the links are all done. I've done the testing. I haven't done the soldering yet. I'm going to do that all together, but that's as we talked about, there were the crimp connectors which fitted on. I've also got the harnesses installed in the fuselage. They're running down either side of there, and obviously they're copied exactly the same as the wing ones. The motor mount is also installed. That's epoxied, half-hour epoxied on this side and on the back side. I had that going off in the previous video, stood up, and then last night, before I went to bed, half-hour epoxied the inside of it and stood it on end, and left it there overnight. So I'm happy now that that's gone off. So we'll be looking at installing the motor and the AC in this one. Literally, I'm going to get the other wing. I'm going to do the other wing now. Do the same as what I've done now. Get the frames installed. Get the wiring harness in. Get the linkages done. And once I've got the other wing to this stage, I will then do a video about all the soldering. I'll just quickly show you one so you don't want to see me solder them all up, but that's that one. And then I think this one will be about ready then. I'll look at doing the video to the slope one, but there's not much really on that one. It's literally just milling out the 2 servo holes, doing the ball link linkages, installing the battery, and then running the two wing harnesses through. But there's not really much on that one, so we're getting there. We're not a million miles away from it. But yeah, thank you.